hours of audio left. That should be enough. Depends on how many mistakes I make. Hi friends, have you ever wanted to manage your time? Have you ever felt like my time is not being managed? Well, today we're going to talk about how to take the state of your time from being not managed to being managed. I'm going to teach you how to be a manager of your time. I spend a lot of time thinking and learning about productivity. I enjoy doing that.
I'm not saying that I am having a full-blown mental breakdown or a mentee bee, as I like to call it. I'm just saying that it's getting close.
Same. I like to come up with new ways to be just a little bit more productive, to shave a little bit more time off of this and that. And now that I'm a father, well, I don't got no time.
Is she drunk? Did she get access to something?
My time is tighter than ever. I have my video projects, including this one. I just got a full-time job at a marketing agency doing video marketing alongside my wife. I have a family, I have all the daily logistics. My car has a coolant leak. So I would consider myself a creative professional with a lot on his plate. And I have ADHD, and maybe that's something we can spend some more time in another video as well. But I've learned some things over time during my adulthood of how to manage my time, and I just want to share some of that with you guys in the hopes of maybe being helpful. Step 1, caffeine. Actually, this is a low caffeine tea. It's green tea. I do love green tea. Antioxidants. First, I want to talk about this idea of making time versus organizing time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the phrase. I use it all the time. But I think that there is a lesson to be taken from that phrase, making time. And that is that we don't actually make time as humans. We merely organize time. No human has ever actually made time. That's the job of the Lord. I don't math real good, but I'm going to guess that most of us have about 16 hours of time where we're awake to organize. Everyone's blank calendar looks exactly the same before we start putting stuff on it. And we organize our time based on what is most important to us. Time is an unrenewable resource. We all get one shot at each day, so we have to get aggressive if we want to leverage that time. This means prioritization. This means sacrifice, which is the other side of the coin of prioritization. This means we have to choose which plates we want to spin. And a lot of times we don't choose our time wisely. Our time has been chosen for us. We've gotten into bad habits. Now, I've found that the demands of life, as well as my feelings, can make that a difficult process. So I have to be intentional every day about prioritizing my time. I think time awareness is a big part of this, and this is something that people with ADHD struggle with. We actually have something called time blindness. So you have to look at the time you have in the day and let it stay in your periphery all day long. What is on the calendar? What do I have to do? Oh no, I'm late. So we spin a lot of plates, and my goal is to spin all of those plates with excellence. Another thing with time is that it's easy to get in a flow for a long period of time doing something, right? Now, sometimes it can be hard to get into that creative and productive flow. So when we get into that flow, it's hard to come out. But what can happen is we can get in a flow doing that one thing for hours and everything else in days, and everything else gets neglected, and your tire just fell off your car and you have a lawsuit on your hands, all because you wanted to edit your photos. So everything needs to have its place. And if something does not have its place in the day, it's going to be neglected. It's going to degrade. Now, another thing I found to be crucial for me is managing my energy throughout the day. We all have a finite amount of energy. We know when we're going to probably have more energy. There are things that we can do to create more energy for ourselves, particularly dietary and sleep related. Those things, if those things are neglected, your energy can be turbulent. A lot of people can take naps. They can just lay down on a rock outside and fall asleep. I have a very difficult time taking naps. So when I wake up in the morning, the amount of sleep I got that night determines what my energy is going to look like throughout the day until I go to sleep that night. And what can happen is either you go one way and you're very lazy with time management and you just kind of go with the wins, as we like to do as creators.
Okay, can we talk about the stock clip? What focal length is this?
Or you can go the opposite direction, manage your time as if, your calendar is your manager. And by the way, that's a good thing to do. But you won't let that manager allow you to manage your energy. So you work your face off until you feel exhausted and depressed, and then the other areas of your life are neglected and bad things happen. So in regards to managing time, managing energy, we have to be disciplined. If we let our feelings lead the way, our feelings will lead astray. Us? So then what are some downfalls that we can experience? Well, one I've already mentioned, that is that we just kind of go with the winds. We go with our feelings. We just let whatever is going on that day, whatever we just saw on Instagram, whatever we've already built some creative momentum in, we let that be the thing. Sometimes following the thing you have creative momentum in is great, but sometimes it may not be the thing that we want to do. And a lot of times I've found that I do the wrong tasks. It's not that I do nothing, it's that I do the wrong somethings. I'll have a goal, or sometimes that goal might be a little bit foggy. Sometimes I get detached from my goals. That's one of the things I struggle with. And I'll do things that feel productive, but they're not necessarily getting me to that goal either at all or in a very efficient way. And a lot of times the right tasks are hard and they are scary, and so we avoid them. We'll do the thing that's easy and pleasant and makes us feel good, doesn't push us too hard, doesn't bring us too far out of our comfort zone. And because of that, we don't actually get to our goals. So I found that I have to have a goal, and then I have to baby step to that goal. And I have to be vicious about staying on top of my to-do list, my calendar, my notes, in order to stay in line with that goal. Or I'll go off over here. I'll start learning about freaking tornadoes or something, because tornadoes are fun and they're easy. Not being in one, but like watching YouTube videos. Whoa, look at the speed on that.
It's almost like a tropical system because you get those feeder bands way out ahead of the main front. And when we chase in the plains, we're used to being focused on the dry line. And honestly, it's pretty easy to find the tornadoes.
What? So we want to be constantly planning and executing towards the right direction so that we don't end up meandering. It's the difference in going outside and we're trying to get to the top of a mountain.
This one right here.
We could either take the most direct path there,
This right here.
which is very intentional, hard. The peak is very far from us, it's staring us in the face. There's a snowstorm coming in. And what do? We decide to meander and explore.
This here. This right here. This here. Take a left.
We want to take photos of the snowstorm from where we are. We get distracted by the pretty trees over here because they're still trees because we haven't made it up to 29,000 yet, the death zone. We go, you know what? This is great. I love I'm going to take, oh look, a bunny. No! Be unstoppable. Aggressive action. Get to that peak. You see the difference? This is the weirdest productivity video that's ever been made, I think. And then of course we have all our bad habits. And this is of course highly personalized. Perhaps we can't sleep or wake up on time. Perhaps we have a bad diet that's making us feel bad. You keep eating that gluten and it breaks your gut. No good. Maybe we avoid social interaction because we have social anxiety. Or my wife said this to me the other day. When your app takes too long to load, so you switch to Chrome and end up on Twitter. There's a habit. You have a social media problem. I have a dopamine addiction. Maybe we have a broader habit of letting our feelings lead the way. We have to get on top of these habits. What I want to do is give myself a powerful structure to submit to, and I want to let my goals and convictions lead the way, not the feelings. So we want to wake up every day and realize that we're fighting a battle against our comfort zones and against our bad habits. And then of course we have our tools. And I love apps. I am obsessed with apps.
Major update. There's a focus timer. Do you have goals that require a long-term commitment of time or tasks that need constant focus? Yes! Now add timer in focus tab and start focusing with just one tap. You can also track the focus trends and historical records easily. This is the best day of my life!
Anyway, whatever apps or physical organization tools we use, it's a good idea for us to have a calendar to be our boss, a task manager to organize our projects, and a notes app, notebook, whatever, note something, to be our second brain. We have to learn how to use them effectively according to us and how our brains work. My apps are the reason I get anything done at all, or know what has to happen today. I'd just be standing in my room next to my bed. I could probably make it to Caffeine somewhere, because it's just like a primal thing. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, I don't know. It's probably just be like, those movies where the people, they're in like an institution, they're just staring out the window all day. I think that would be similar to what would happen to me. Caffeine. Oh, that's a little cold. Oh, and also, and this could be apps. There are apps that help you with this, or this could be an absence of apps. Be very intentional about what is distracting you throughout the day. All the dopamine reward system activating things that are all around us that are on the internet. Distraction is such a big deal, and it's sinister, because a lot of times you may not even realize how distracted your brain is when you're addicted to dopamine. So we have to manage the inputs as much as we manage the outputs. That isn't even in my notes. That came straight out of my wet computer in my head. Okay, that's it. I really hope this was helpful. I hope you guys individually got some nuggets from somewhere. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys may be struggling with. I'd love to hear about some tools or strategies or principles that you guys have utilized. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you're able to be productive and creative in this coming week. We're going to assume it's Monday. If it's Thursday, we're just going to pretend it's Monday. Whatever day it is now for you, it's actually Monday. And from this point on in your life, that's the whole week, you're going to operate as if today was Monday. Okay? All of you guys are like going to dinner with your family and going to church on the wrong days. You're the only ones showing up because I told you it was Monday. I just call it a catastrophe. And then all your kids, I mean, you're going to be, oh gosh, it's going to go on for generations. Wow. This was a catastrophic failure of a video, I gotta say. Okay, if you like this video, you found it helpful, if you want to hit the like button, I would really appreciate that. And if you want to hit the subscribe button because you enjoy what I'm up to here, that would be lovely. I would really appreciate that. I love you guys. I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.